Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about transmuting that silent energy or that frequency that you're sitting in or may just be around experiencing, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is a lot of times we go to certain places and locations, or we're just at home, but we got certain other energies and entities around us. And they may be in a completely different room and they're not doing anything directly towards you, you know, or they could be working at a completely other end of the store and you're way somewhere else on the other end of the store. But us as spiritual beings having a human experience and also being electrical beings, we are constantly projecting a vibration and a frequency. So the same way we don't see the wind, we just feel the cause and effect, or we can see the cause and effect. It's the same way we have this other stuff happening in the spiritual realm. And a lot of times, like for us who take on others' energy, whether willingly or unwillingly, it's just some of us, that's just how we are designed, you know. You're gonna have to transmute that energy. And a lot of times, like a lot of the shit that's going on now is like, because there's so much information out here, a lot of it is more subtle, silent, and a million times more sneakier, if sneaky wasn't that sneaky back then before. You know what I mean? So what happens when you don't transmute the energy of a situation, like say like you are in your parents' house or something, you know what I mean? Just like, but you feel their vibration, you know, your mom just came home from work or the dad or somebody, and you can feel their vibration, and you know that it had been a situation or something that happened prior before, or maybe this is day one, you know what I mean? And if you take this as day one, let's just say a situation did happen that day. So now you don't address it fully properly, and then a couple days pass on, and then it's still taking up space in your spiritual realm. If it's taking up space in your spiritual realm and it's not building you, you're still analyzing it and trying to figure it out, or you figured it out and you just processing how to, you go and bring it to this being's attention, you know what I mean? It's gonna sit on you and it's gonna take up space, time, and energy that you are gonna have to exert in other places. And I say that because we had a spiritual war right now, so it's not really but so much escaping you can do. And a lot of these beings out here now, because it is so much information, and a lot of beings, because there's so much information out here now, is having to work harder in the spiritual realm. So you'll find beings being more silent around you, but still wishing the same, or if not more, ill will or harm towards you. You know what I mean? Or just wishing you bad luck. I don't even like to say wishing or bad luck, but that these are the kind of spells that they cast when they're over in their spiritual realm working silently. Like, soon it's gonna become a point in time where you only gonna be able to address the energy. You know, that's why a lot of beings have a hard time looking people in the eyes. You know what I mean? It's a lot of traffic out here. But they have a hard time looking beings in the eyes. You know, because if you feel as though spiritually you don't have good intentions and you doing things witchy as hell, and you just got all these other weird things going on, it's going to be harder for you to look people in the eyes. And the ones that you do look in the eyes, you know, they're going to be able to tell that it's something going on within there that is, you know, that's creating this chaos that is being projected, or this vibration that's being projected. So just understanding, like, when I had situations going on, right, and I have a pound of things going on, and then I'm still the being that's projecting the highest light, But I realize when I find myself in spaces where it's other beings doing that silent thing, I have to transmute that energy as best as I possibly can. And for me, I've been doing this long enough now to where I have my methods that work for me as far as how to transmute that energy. And somebody just pulled up, so it just kind of caught my attention. For some reason, it's been a weird week, weird 2 days. It just feels like a lot of gang stalking. But personally, like, people move around and do as they please. You know, if that's something that they would like to do, then let it be something they would like to do. It's a lot of ignorance out here. It's a lot of demons and devils out here working full time, you know what I mean? So they are gonna be, this right here was like a silent move, you know what I mean? They just pull up and reverse your car, and I'm kind of off to the side, you know, and it just be the subtle things as we're discussing right now. And that's how it happens when you out here in this field, you know. And the beauty of life is we all walking it and we all experiencing it. So if you're a genuine being and you just relaying your experiences out for knowledge, for beings to learn from, then it's gonna correlate all the way around the board, you know. You don't have to put a whole lot of emphasis on it. But transmuting that energy is gonna be huge, you know? Because if you don't transmute it, sometimes I know for me, when I don't transmute that energy, or I usually always transmute it, but sometimes I have a process where I wait longer to process to actually transmute it because I'm analyzing it more. Sometimes I need more time to break it down and analyze it. And then I figure out as far as how I want to go about transmuting it. But then once I get into that space of figuring out how I want to transmute it, it's going to be a pretty smooth process, and it's going to go a lot easier for me because I've already processed my energy and motion, you know, so that's going to be less of a thing that I'll even have to worry about or deal with. And then I've already analyzed the situation from every angle to the point to where now all I have to do is pick my words properly and communicate it outwardly with the right energy behind it, so that way the universe knows what's happening and what I'm trying to project back outward. I didn't want to say to the being or to the location, because really it's us communicating outwardly to the universe. It's not so much as us dealing with the physical vessels per se. You know, that's on a smaller percentage scale. Yes, we are dealing with the physical vessel, but that's on a smaller percentage scale. So that's why they always do the look people in the eyes thing, because you deal with the spirit, the being, the entity inside first, then the vessel and everything that comes attached with it. You know what I mean? But you have to figure out a way to transmute. And me, I've always been a transmuter by directing it where it's supposed to be directed at, you know? And if I'm not directing it over there, I have to do something that's like helping others, you know? I have to, for me, I don't go into a selfish place. I go to a selfless place, you know? And then that kind of is where the strength start getting pulled from, because even before I had my daughter, I used to pull my strength from being able to do more and better for my siblings and some of my immediate peers that, you know, I felt was rock solid at the time, you know what I mean? And that's because in my world, I was trying to create a family, and I didn't really understand that I was already connected to a higher one, you know what I mean? So it's just like once you get to these understandings and knowing these things, you actually focus more on the energy, the intentions, and what's not being said. So that way, it's easier for you to have better grounding to solidify your presentation. I don't want to say argument, your presentation, or how you communicate it outwardly to the universe or to the being, or however you feel about the location that you're at or in. You know what I mean? But pondering and sitting on it, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. And then the ops is gonna start feeding you all that low vibrational shit, like, oh yeah, you know you ain't shit, and oh yeah, all your insecurities start coming up, and then oh yeah, your confidence start going down. Like, And what's crazy is it'll put that the opposition will start feeding you those thoughts based off of you not transmuting that energy. Some people could work out and feel like that's a transmute, you know, but then it's still in your spirit world. It's still up there as a thought. Some people want to say they can drink coffee. Okay, cool. It's still in your spirit world. If you meditate on it, meditation is just you in your inner space and focusing and aligning on your breathing. So that is, you can let it go. But what happens with that is we're supposed to learn to let go. But what happens with that is you're going to get triggered every day, because we're in a war over here in the Western world, you know what I mean? So it's better to just transmute it, so that way you're not being triggered every day you wake up and step outside, you know what I'm saying? Or every day you wake up and turn on your phone or turn on your TV, whatever it is that, you know, outside of just your spirit coming back to your vessel that reminds you this shit is a war field right now. It doesn't look like it, but it feels like it, you know. Your feelings not fact, but your feelings are your guides, they're your sensories, you know. You don't ever want to push those to the back burner. You just want to be aware. All right, bam, I'm in this mood right now. This is where I'm at. Let me sit my feelings right here. Okay, I acknowledge them. Now I need to communicate out responsibly. You know what I mean? So if you are out here trying to build yourself, you're gonna have to transmute that energy. If you're in a space to where you have to deal with some demons, you know, because of your living space, you're gonna have to figure out a way to transmute that energy. And usually it's going to be something that is greater than you. That is gonna be the best source to be able to transmute that energy outside of directing it where it's supposed to go to. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.